It's gonna latch on to you. Watch this. It found you. Is that cool? And you're gonna hear me say that. All right. Good, you're doing a great job getting the bend. But how does she feel? Good. She looks a little choppy once in a while, but it doesn't look like she feels uncomfortable.
Yeah, no.
Good. Okay, so is this the lengthening or the shortening of the reins this time? Let's just start over. Let's do that. So let's have you, as you birthday, look shorten and go back to where you felt yesterday, where it was just a, a slightly more direct contact. And now show me the half halt and inside leg, and then she should start bringing her nose down a little. And we're gonna keep doing this until we like get her nose down a little and get her to relax. Good. Inside leg. Ho ho ho. Elbows bending. Down. So there she just gets, so don't let her go down. Yes. Don't let her go down until you really feel her slow down. Yes. Good. There now. Let her have it slow. Very good. Very good. A little more. Now start using inside leg as you pick her up. Elbows down, hands up. Half halt, slow her down. Good. Good. Yes. Now let's have you ride the diagonal. Do a long diagonal and come back down here in a circle. Slow her down, hands up. Shorten your reins a little bit. Again, just want to feel like it's okay with me if you make them short as long as your hands stay out in front of you. And again, it's nice that you're going to see like almost the whole lesson, because you'll see how things change, right? You'll see what happens when you do things one way and then you do it, you do it the other way. You'll see what it feels like. So right now what you'll see is that, she's actually not really leaning too much into the middle, but just enough so that you're getting that nose in the air. It's sort of quick feeling. So I feel like once you get the half halt and inside leg a little bit more precise and a little bit more strong in the moment. So it's almost like you want to get more from your half halt and your inside leg in that moment. Does that make sense? And then you'll be able to relax more the rest of it. Exactly, Viola. It's sort of like, you don't have to get tough about it, which you wouldn't anyway, but it's almost like you just have to sort of get right to it and just get it done, So shorten range down. And let's see if we can keep her a little more consistently in that bend so that you don't have to deal with her, getting so racy, right? So here, just think, close those fingers, elbows down, oh, and inside leg. And then, oh, and inside leg. And you're just thinking about it. Inside leg until you feel it. Yes. Feel the difference?
Yeah.
So what I want you to realize is that this should be your normal. This should be your normal, because it's fantastic and everybody feels better. Like she feels better when she does it, but because she's a horse and you're a big brain person, entity, being, you're the one who has to be in charge of letting her know that. So in your partnership, consider too that what you're doing here is you have to maintain the leadership role, and the leadership role can be if you're sort of spreading out corrections and whatever. It's not like you're being a dictator to her, right?
Yeah.
You're just trying to keep things very quiet and relaxed, but also with her ability to then move forward a little more athletically if asked.
Yeah.
And so, like I've said before, it's almost like your role is to talk to her less, not more. But when you talk to her, you want it to sort of have staying power. So hook and inside leg. Because and the way the staying power is going to happen is if you communicate clearly enough with her that she really understands what you're saying,
Yeah.
and she's given a chance to do what you're saying. So here it's like, and by the way, FYI, as I'm talking about this, you're doing that.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it looks to me like you're keeping things very consistent. So what I would say from watching this is any time you feel her get racy and above the bit, half hold and use inside leg. Like what you got, and you're going to start doing it, and I think it's going to be helpful for you to watch yourself because it's going to, I hope that it gives you confidence. Because you'll see that there's really no reason why you can't do that.
Yeah.
Because I think when you watch it, it's like, oh, well, I feel when that's happening. The solution is very simple. I know how to do it, you know. But it's like anything, you know. It's like you're doing. You have a lot of other things going on in your mind, right?
Yeah.
This is so lovely, Viola. Absolutely gorgeous. Now let's let her have. Now I want you to do one more half halt and inside leg, and then once we get her back to that soft place, we're going to let her have a long rein and a little walk break. A long rein and a trot first. Make it a very fluid thing, not a choppy like, oh, an inside leg. You know, like, oh, an inside leg. There we go. It's so beautiful and smooth. She doesn't start out with a beautiful and smooth, but together you're the leader who like helps her create this beautiful picture, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously she likes it because it relaxes her now a little bit longer with the reins. So funny, Viola. Good. Go ahead and walk. And as you're sitting and walking, just think a little friendly leg, friendly little rubs, you know. And one thing I was thinking about too is, because you know lately, normally in the past I was riding. So when I would put the kids on the hill and then I'd ride the next day and I'd think about it. And you know, like I'd be on a horse between yesterday and now, but I'm doing it because I've been doing a lot of other things right now. But when I ride, I often feel and I feel like and so I feel like one thing that you're going to start. Oh, it latched onto me.
Yeah.
Shoot. Not me, her. That's why I have to sit down. It was starting to record me talking. Like, oh, you'll be so delighted to see your lecture in like lecture form.
Yeah.
Imagine if I just sat there staring at teaching you and staring into the camera.
That would be.
What I was just trying to say is, I've been observing lately when I've been riding how the many different ways I use my leg, depending on the horse and depending on the day and depending on what I want to get done. But the primary thing is like, you know, the basic thing is just to give a little squeeze with the thick of your calves, like you're touching your heels together, but I'll also give like little rubs, little bumps. I'll do butterfly leg, which is a little bit different from friendly leg. So as time goes on, you know, you now have these very solid basics, and you don't really have to worry anymore about, because you can use leg like that. You can find things that work for you. Because you're the one riding the horse, and so and we don't need to carry a whip with her, right?
Yeah.
Just because she's so sensitive. And because of that, so for me, the stand, if I'm riding a lesson horse, because I want them to know the basic formula, like then your Salou, I'll be very clear, like I squeeze in with my leg. If you don't listen, I give a tiny little tap with the whip. But with Nina and Fuego and Al, that's a little more sophisticated. And so that, with them, I find that I do use leg for different things. You know, to make a correction, I use different types of leg. This is so great. Let's have you ride, let's have you ride the free walk across the diagonal, start picking her up again. Then as you start, straighten out her neck as well. Use your right leg now. So start using your new inside leg. And get her nose to the inside. Get down here, you can pick up the circle. I'm sorry, pick up the circle. Pick up the products. Oh, I really thought the things are going to come off the trees. That was so beautifully yesterday. That's it. That's right. So she sort of hits the bit, and you're like, oh, that's too fast. So half out hard, hands up, and leg yield her off your right leg. And then within that leg yield, ask her to trot on. Yeah. That's great. Did you feel that? Yeah. And so you know what I would do, since you're walking here, because she fell in pretty dramatically, do the same thing. And the leg yield does, you still have room to maybe leg yield one horse width to your left, right? So think ho, ho, ho. And then inside leg. Make her respond to it. Ho, 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 ho. And over. Yep. And then one more time. And now keep your leg on and ask for the trot. Good. I would like to try one or two canters today, but I think that Megan doesn't really want us to canter until she determines that she's not having a negative body thing to it. I think that last week she just found her, and it's really because she knows her, she's her horse, and she knows her so well, and she also has like a degree in so, or like, maybe not a degree, but when she went to equine studies school, college, like that's one of the stuff, that was like one of her majors. So she can evaluate her pretty well. So that said, I feel like, I realize that we probably shouldn't spend a lot of time, but I just wanted to, but I have the okay to try a couple of canters. So, so what I would do is, let's do this. Sorry, I'm just trying to think of how I want to do it. Because I just want this to always be some kind of circle, but look at your circle, man. That's like a freaking perfect circle, isn't it? Oh my God, Viola. Okay, sister, we are 100% having a show season next year. I can't tell you how badly I feel that we missed that this year, but with Salou being wacky and you starting to ride her, it just, there wasn't really a, I was going to talk to you about riding Salou this month in a show maybe, but obviously that's not going to happen right now. But we'll get there, and you're already ahead of the game. This is amazing. Okay, so you know what? Let's just think that basically, I don't want to do little circles to the canter because I don't want her to be on to us too much with that. But what I'm thinking about is just, we've done this before, like bring her in to like a slightly smaller circle. So you'll just see like a concentric circle ring to the inside of this one, right? Yeah. So go to that in the trot and set that up for yourself. It's going to come, you know, like a target, you know? Yeah. So try to stay to the inside of this circle. And you have your inside leg, you have your outside leg, good. I actually really like this trot. Good, so trying to think about keeping your hands a little more steady there. Here. What I thought we'd do is then walk on this circle. So stay on the, we'll call this the little circle and that the big circle. In theory, this would be a 15-meter circle, but I guess we'd call it a 15-meter circle. So stay on the little circle, and keeping the bend on the little circle, ask her to walk. Your inside leg is there. Good. Oh. Okay, gotta sit down, obviously. Okay, so then you're gonna leg yield her in the walk to the outer circle and ask for canter. And just remember that, you know, short reins. So I'd shorten your reins. And you have exhibited a lot of, you're riding extremely well right now. Yesterday and today. So just remember, have confidence with that, okay? The way that you're going to keep that confidence as we work on trying to improve this canter is just by staying seated and not letting anything throw you at all, because everything's fine, right? Yeah. So try to get out of any in your head and just feel what's happening. So here you're just going to think, you know what it might feel like, but assume that it's going to feel like you're cantering Salou, right? Yeah. You're going to half halt inside leg, half halt inside leg. The more you get her haunches over, the more balance she gets, and then you can ask for canter, but do it and stay in your seat and ask right after the leg yield, okay? So it's like the leg yield's part of the canter transition and vice versa. So elbows bendy, half halt inside leg, elbows down, but bendy, ho, 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 over, ho, and over. So really use that inside leg. Yes. Now look up to his feet and then inside leg. Try not to pull, honey, because remember, now you're pulling yourself out of your seat and she thinks you're getting into, so now just think, pulse your hand, and pull, walk, yes, placing in the outside stirrup, lots of inside leg. Wow, the transition is fantastic. And then she just got fast. So walk on, don't let her do that. You know, I know it's hard because it's like my thought would always be with my horses, like, well, she just has an itchy face, you know. But it's a little bit more than that. So you just don't want her to think that she can just do that. So let's go to a little circle, and we're not going to ask again because I'm nervous about for her sake. I don't know how she is. Okay, so just walk on. But that was really good. The transition was really good, but I like that you didn't worry about it, right? Yeah. and I hear you, like, I'll say something like, well, don't hold on to her mouth. And if I were you, I'd be like, how can I not?
I know.
Like, what? I'm going to keep saying it, and I don't blame you at all, but I'm just going to help you with it. Like, I think that I would probably be doing that. It's because I don't, it's like you don't have a choice. But really what I'm going to show you maybe next week is how to sort of pulse the feel so that she doesn't feel like you're hanging on her mouth. So it's going to be like this Viola, a little bit like whoop, whoop, and then inside leg at the same time. But let's just end instead of with canter. Let's just and I really like the heels and right into the transition from the actual leg heel. So let's have you. And I love that your footwork is perfect. So let's have you half halt, do a really good leg yield out, and then keeping the bend and keeping her out there on the big circle, pick up the trot. But again, I do think you might have to shorten your reins. Sit in that outside seatbelt a little bit. Remaining half halt, soft in leg, and then within that, yes, absolutely beautiful. So keep her in that outer circle. So well done. That time I literally was just watching her feet, and so what I saw was her tracking perfectly, and then when you asked for the trot, it looked like she tracked, and then just when she took the next step, it was right into that. So that was beautiful. So now let's have you spiral in and go to the walk, but keeping the inside bend. So this is a way for you to practice moves where, because in your future, it's going to be leg yielding within the direction of the bend, which is a whole different thing. So this is just a way for you to think about that, right? So it's like, you got to be pulling to the inside leg, but then you got to turn her a little bit with your seat, right? Good. So now let's fade back down to walk, keeping the bend. Yep. And then half halt and leg yielded back out to do the exact same thing back out, and then transitioning in the leg of half halt over, half halt over, half halt over. Good. And then, she might start out like anticipating it and getting excited. Part of me wonders if maybe she just thinks that because it's the end of the lesson and we're doing these leg yields, it's CANT all the time. But we're not going to do that. You don't have to go full ring. You can do a loop to the in. I would maybe, because of the pivot, do a loop to the outside of the circle to change direction. Whoop. Whoop. Good. Now do inside leg. Good. Outside hand, sort of, you ask for the flexion with the inside rein. Outside hand is softly following, but staying connected to the outside of the bit. And then half halts and inside leg. Leg yielder sort of to the outer rim of your big circle. You get the trot a little bit more balanced and soft and supple. Yep, so now think ho and over. So what this tells me, because you didn't get it quickly, it tells me I think you need to be a little bit more stick with your half halt inside leg a little longer. Ho and over. Because she's trotting through your bit, through the bit. She's trotting through your leg command and through the bit. And I think that now you're starting to understand that language, right?
Yeah.
When I say trotting through, it's like she's blowing it off. She's not even listening to you, and she just sort of goes fast.
Yeah.
But this is like, no, remember, it's you just think, wait a minute, remember. This is how we do it. Good. And then you'll bring her into the walk transition. So remember, bring her in. So pretend you put her on the small circle. It's okay. I wasn't clear. Half halt and inside leg still for the bend, even though you're on the inner circle. Because your outside leg is called the guarding leg. And it's sort of like when you, this is sometimes how people describe what I'm talking about, like in the beginning. Like this is what they'll tell you instead of describing why you're doing this. They'll just say, you know, like, oh, you know, just get the horse in the outside rein and on your outside leg. Oh, here I go again. And to me, it's like when the student finally understands the concept of the bend and balance, I'll throw that in there. It's like, oh, by the way, you know, because it's not as simple as that, right? But one little sort of cheat sheet helpful hint for you to know that you probably with her have the bend is if she does sort of stay into that outside rein and touches the outside rein with her neck, not the inside rein. Because that's coming from your leg, not where you're holding the reins, right? And then your outside leg is called the guarding leg because it's also sort of like that passive rein, but it sort of sits there and just tells her, no, don't go through this. And then you can feel if she goes through it because there will be more pressure on your leg. So that's a good example of the But this is all stuff that's just going to start sort of. So it's like osmosis, right? You're just suddenly, it's just going to be knowledge that you have in there. Change your diagonal, and I think it'll feel more comfortable. But I'm very, very impressed and proud that you've been so attentive to the diagonals. So anytime I have you change one, I almost don't want to tell you because you've been so good at it. This is so beautiful, honey. Good job, Viola. Oh my God, I'm so happy you have this little horse to ride. So beautiful. Let's leg yield her in. So maybe that's not the right way of saying it. Turn her in. Keeping the bend. So yeah, that's right. So yes. And once you get there, the inside leg just helps you keep her from falling in even more. Perfect. And now let's keeping the bend. Let's walk. So even in your downwards, you can start learning to keep your inside leg on, which just very lightly communicates to her to not fall in the down leg. Now let's leg yield her back out for the trot, and then once we get the trot nice, we'll end with a nice long and low. Half halt and over. Whoop. Whoop. You know what, sweetie, let's go back in and try that again. Because for our last one, I just want you to feel it be fabulous, and that was not your best one. I want your last one to feel really nice. So your goal is to just keep this beautiful bending feeling that you have when she gets ready, right? So just here, just think, oh, and don't you leg yield her yet. Let's turn her first. And I'm having you try this again too because I think because she's getting a tiny bit tired, she's just jackknifing a little bit. So when you got that last transition, she threw her nose in the air because she didn't keep herself over. So now before the transition, just really be aware of where she is underneath you. If her nose is up, don't ask for the trot. So now leg yield her back out, keeping the roundness and the balance. So full and left leg over. Up. Notice there's neck. Pull and turn that shoulder because yeah, she's really pushing her shoulder. Keep the left leg on, and then ask for the trot. That was much better. Also remember that I have not ridden her, but to me it looks like if you're on the wrong diagonal with her, you feel it. Yeah. So I'm not saying that suddenly you're always going to be great. Exactly. And now she's really reaching out more, which is lovely, which is the intention of the long swing. a nice horse, such a beautiful breathing, right?
Yeah.
Now I know, but she's, for me, she's above tempo. I tend to be in the school of thought of like a slower tempo is actually more ideal for if we're evaluating like a dressage working trot. So let's see if you can like just slow her down a tiny, tiny, tiny bit just by lifting the hands, opening a little bit, just gently feeling the mouth. Right. So let's do one more trot. Shorten the reins. Don't worry about this. Unless she's really like. And then the kitten came in and ruined everything. Kit, what are you doing, silly? Half the time, like at night, I'll be here alone at like 11 and they'll start going nuts. It's like, oh, you're out there barking at pups. Thanks a lot for making me think that they're being cute. And wide thumbs up. Just get a leg heel. Go, go, go. Go, go, go. Shot left leg. Get her out. Get her out. Get her out. Right leg. Get around this. Make her listen. I just want her to slow down a little bit, and then actually we'll end with that. I just didn't like that you had such a beautiful bend and everything, and then just because there's a little activity over there, it sort of disappeared. Just wanted to end with more of a nice flow. Yes, and then let her reach down, lightly and slow. There. Now, yeah, well, that'll go. Oh, sorry. Jesus. Great.